Hi, everyone. I'm Paul Bloch, co-founder of Fathom. We're transforming the podcast experience. Podcasts reflect humanity's collective intelligence and imagination. At Fathom, we're asking, how can we better explore and experience this universe of ideas? Today, we use podcast players. They all give us a grid of thumbnails leading to a boring list. Trying to preview episodes doesn't work. And a search for how to create a great pitch deck returns no results. It's broken. We can do better. Fathom's built for people like David, a podcast lover. When David listens to podcasts, Fathom listens with him, understanding the content and what David loves about it. Fathom also finds people like David and combines this information to make intelligent recommendations just for him. Our AI discovers the most interesting clips and autoplays those parts he'll enjoy most. Let's check it out.
Yeah, without the Russians, World War II wouldn't have been won either.
Yeah, the stories are written by the victors. That's really interesting.
This gives rise to popular notions that, as solid as anything seems, your tabletop or your own body, anything you can point to is in fact mostly empty space.
What a lot of these really top students did that I interviewed, the students who have fantastic grades but work less than people that have lower grades, is they realize that it is easier to increase your intensity of focus than it is to increase your time.
Fathom turns podcasts into TikToks, making browsing a fun and entertaining experience. The same AI that powers our previews delivers amazing search results. Let's try that same search from before. How can I create a great pitch deck?
Talking about your why resonates and builds a connection with your community of investors. What's easily forgotten is TAM. What's not forgotten is a captivating why.
Okay, there's something magical about this. Let's try something else. What do investors look for in a startup?
If you make it and people want it, every investor will pay attention to that. And that's the best calling card by far.
A combination of great founding team and a great market. And great founding teams find great markets, or they find a wedge into that market.
Fathom's AI goes beyond fixing search. It's an oracle that appropriates human intelligence to answer your questions, often profoundly. So how do we do it? We built an ensemble of neural networks. Scribbles creates transcripts, Thinky turns those into thoughts, and Smarty Pants answers your questions. We're bringing this everywhere people listen to podcasts. We unsee Apple and Spotify with an AI-powered feed of previews, search, and more. Initial feedback is universally positive. We've recently launched our beta. We're going public in October. We're targeting listeners in 2 podcast clusters that include science, technology, and culture. Our AI will tell us which podcast to sponsor to drive growth. Once people can't live without it, we monetize with ads and premium memberships. At full scale, with 29 million users, we'll hit 100 million ARR. Our team has over 80 years combined engineering, product, and design experience. Thank you for your time. I'm Paul Bloch, co-founder of Fathom. We're building the best podcast experience in the world.
All right, well done, Paul. Okay, investors. David, let's start with you. Question for Paul.
Over time, do you think you stay completely meta, or do you start to have your own original content as well?
All right, thanks, David. Diana.
I mean, you're in beta now, but how do you think about acquiring users when you do go live?
All right, great. Thanks so much. And Syndicate members, just wanted to remind you there's a Q&A box if you want to go ahead and drop questions in there. Please do tag the name of the founder or the company so we know that question is for the founder. Okay, let's take one from Jeff. Question for Paul.
Yeah, I was just wondering kind of what's preventing the actual platforms, being Spotify and any other player, from adding search functionality. I think that's really powerful and well done. So just curious about how you view those platforms.
All right, sounds great. And let's take one more. How about you, John? John Bracey.
Yeah, sorry, you caught me on mute there. For sure. I'm just a little curious a little bit more about your overall marketing strategy and how you're going to acquire users and ultimately monetize this long term.
All right, great. And let's grab one from our syndicate. Richard's asking, are there DMCA/copyright concerns from publishers and podcasters? So you have 2 minutes to take those, Paul. 3, 2, go.
All right, thank you so much for your question. So David, you asked about original content. I think ultimately we will be generating our original content. That's not where we're focusing. Right now, we're focusing really on just being the best listening experience for podcasts. Diana and Richard, you both, no, sorry, and John, you both asked about how we're going to be acquiring users. So the kind of industry secret is to actually advertise on other podcasts. That's how podcasts get most coverage today, is to partner with other podcasts and cross promote, but also specifically just advertise on other podcasts. So that's one of the ways that we're looking at acquiring new users, but we have a 360-degree marketing plan also that we're working on. Jeff, with regards to defense, like how defendable is our tech, what's preventing Apple and Spotify? I mean, one thing to note is that this kind of technology is something that neither of those companies actually tend to build in-house. In that case, we would probably be an acquisition target. Apple has purchased a couple of different search startups for podcasts, but we actually haven't really seen great results in terms of how it's implemented on Apple Podcasts. John, there's the other question you had about monetization. We have kind of 4 different income streams that we're looking at with regards to memberships, ad revenue from in-feed ads, also dynamically inserted ads. And then Richard, finally, about the DMCA copyright issues. Everything is kind of federated through RSS feeds, and so there's kind of an open ecosystem of content out there, and podcast creators can always ask us to remove their content.